1 minute until showtime.
Hey. Oh, man, that was 97? Come on. Oh, everybody's worn out from the elections. That's what it is. Yeah. You have a meter up there, a decibel meter. All right, 105. You're forgiven. That's fine. You done good. Yeah.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, from the world's most famous beach, from where beach racing began, it's the Legends of Racing radio show. Live from racing's North Turn Beach Bar and Grill in Ponce Inlet, Florida. The Legends of Racing radio show with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. The applause guys are at their peak, at the peak of their form, right?
Yeah, what a week.
Oh, my gosh.
What a week.
I really kind of didn't care who won, just as long as I don't have to listen to those stinking commercials anymore.
Yeah, well, 4 years ago we were pretty miserable about this time, but this time it's our turn.
I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
Absolutely.
I think we're going to see a lot of good things happen, with Trump. I'm not going to get real political, Mike. But, so I saw on Fox News this morning where Trump has already called Putin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they've already had dialogue, and they're thinking about dissipating that war.
Oh, I'll
and
be darned.
Putin was really looking for an excuse to get out.
Uh-huh.
So, this is perfect. So I'm happy.
That's good.
So
I heard something interesting this morning.
Prayer does work.
Oh, buddy, you're not kidding. That gal that he just hired as the chief of staff?
Bulldog.
Yeah. Well, her father was Pat Summerall, the announcer.
Yes,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
She's a Florida girl.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah.
How about
I had
that,
no
huh?
idea. Wow.
That's pretty neat.
That's great. Well, they say she's a bulldog, and she keeps everybody together.
That's good.
I mean, if you can keep Trump's campaign together, you can keep anything together.
Yep.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that's for sure.
So anyway, happy week. Prayer works.
Yeah.
A lot of people prayed about the election, and including me, Doris. And just it worked.
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, it's so good to see a lot of old faces back again. It's like they opened up the door for the snowbirds and let them all in.
Really.
This is great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Mopar Judy's back, and Dennis. It's so good to see them.
Tom and Vicky, and I mean, gosh, damn, it's just so good to. And Joe.
Yeah, little brother Joe's here. He's not little anymore.
Yeah.
Well, he's little, but he's not big. The reason we call him little.
Yeah, but all the people that hung tough with us throughout the winter, Buzz, you had your accident. I went to Ohio for 5 or 6 months, and Rich and Mike kind of held the fort down for us, and so everything worked out good, and here we are again.
All right.
And
Good to be here.
Yeah, talk about a great guest.
We've got a great guest here, Mr. John Debenedictis right here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he might not be a household name, but what he's done has been remarkable. And you worked with Kevin Harvick, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I bet that was an adventure, wasn't it?
That was in 2002. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How was he back then? Was he kind of a snot?
No, not at all.
Well,
Not
that's
at all.
good.
He's a great guy.
Is he really?
He's a great guy. I enjoyed the time that we got to work together. It wasn't very long. I mean, it was for probably 2 months, testing and preparing for the 2002 Rolex.
Right.
Unfortunately, they didn't get to finish.
Oh, gosh.
We tried to drill into the stock car racers that you don't use the engine as a brake. And they can only withstand so many 11,000 RPM downshifts.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but it was a good year for the Spirit of Daytona.
Uh-huh.
It was a good year for us. We won the Rolex 24 and AGT in 2002.
Well, that's great.
Uh,
Yeah. It just worked out well for you.
Yes, yeah, and to this day, I mean, Harvick's a household name.
Oh yeah.
And
his son's doing real well too.
oh, the kid is phenomenal.
He's going to be all right.
Yes, he is phenomenal.
Yeah. So you figured 2002, Harvick was just starting to come into his own there, wasn't he?
After the death of Dale Sr.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and he he didn't have the I'm the guy attitude.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's good.
he was still humble. I mean, he was a great guy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in their car. It was Harvick, Rick Corelli.
Really?
Yep.
No kidding. The High
And,
Plains Drifter.
Yes, the High Plains Drifter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a couple other guys, Southwest Tour guys.
Mm-hmm.
Davey, gosh, I can't remember his last name. He was the money man. He owned Remax Realty.
Oh, did he really?
Linenger, I believe it. Dave Linenger.
No kidding.
Can't remember his
Jeez.
last name. But
Talk about money. Oof.
yes, he brought the whole deal together.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it to us at Spirit of Daytona. We built 2 cars, one for our drivers, which Craig Conway, Doug Goad.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other car for those guys.
And you guys won.
The '09 car did.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Uh-huh. That's pretty neat. Now, how many 24-hour races have you been involved in?
19.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy
19.
cow. I guess you've seen some pretty amazing things over the years, haven't you?
I've seen a lot of change.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone from where we used to start over 100 cars
Oh, my gosh.
to, they cut the field to 60 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's going to be a grind, though, isn't it, the 24 hours?
It's not 24 hours.
No.
It's, on the clock it's 24 hours, but it's a 36 to 38 hour day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. From the time you get there at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning until you leave at 10 o'clock
Wow.
Sunday night.
Sounds like a young man's sport.
It is. It is.
Well, I can tell from your personality already that you got that A-type personality, so you didn't sleep.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, a lot
No.
of guys take snoozes,
There-
take
there-
naps.
well, there is a picture or two out there of me with my eyes closed.
Nodding.
Not very many.
Nodding for a few minutes.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah.
No,
I always thought, with the involvement being the fact that Rolex was here at Daytona and so forth, and NASCAR, the marriage would have been really good if NASCAR would do an actual race
I would,
connected with the Rolex. And I'm
I
sure
would
you're
love it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's your DNA
and-
thoughts too.
and when Charlotte, the Roval, we were speaking of the Roval earlier. When they defined the Roval, brought the Roval around. Well, that's something we've been doing at Daytona for 50 years.
That's right.
It's nothing new to us.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would love to see the Cup cars at Daytona in an endurance mode,
Yeah.
especially with the cars they have today.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Those are real road race cars.
Yeah.
And I don't know why NASCAR doesn't get that thought. I don't understand. As close as popular as racing is, and they're trying road courses, why not? Makes no sense why they don't, Buzz.
It beats me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bring the firecracker back and put it on the road course.
Or IROC series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Bring the firecracker back and put it on the road course.
There we go.
Absolutely.
I think we started something here.
Well, let's go.
We got in there.
Let's go.
So, where do you think I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but you've watched racing for years. You've watched NASCAR naturally. You're a racing guy. How's it changed? For the better, for the worse? Tell me what you think. You've been around racing for a long time, man.
Will you ever replace the popularity of the late 80s, early 90s? No.
No, I don't think so.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Technology has brought it to a totally different level. The money has brought it to a totally different level. I mean, when I first started racing, you could build a race car for $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 and go
my
race.
gosh. Yeah, sure.
You know,
Yeah.
today, you know, I got
Five times that. minimum.
to start, you know, a hobby stock or a street stock for Volusia or New Smyrna, they're $20,000-$30,000 for a street stock.
That's crazy.
You know, and I got buddies sitting right out here that, you know, they pour their whole life into this stuff. You know, they work their butts off to go race on the weekend.
What do they get out of it?
A trophy.
Oh boy,
A trophy.
You can't eat a trophy.
and well, that's if you finish the race.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
I mean, sure they get to say, I went to Daytona and I won, or I went to Sebring and I won, or I went to Road Atlanta and I won. But you know, none of that pays the bills.
No. You get the prestige.
And not that I was any smarter than any of them, because I'm certainly not. But I figured out a long time ago, it's to my advantage to go work on these guys' cars.
There you
and
go.
get a check from them and have to go pay.
That's right. Oh yeah.
You're smiling, Brian. I see that.
Yeah, we got our first car when I was in high school. I paid $50 for it, and had a roll cage in it, so that was a big deal.
Yep.
Had a screw jack in the right front. Whoa.
What was that for?
Yeah, right. I had to look it up. But, yeah, my dad said, I'll help you all I can, but I'm not going to take a penny off the table to put into that damn car.
Yep.
And he didn't.
Yep.
And then a lot of times we sat. Yeah, but when we were out there, we gave it hell.
That's similar to my first experience. I had bought a '64 Chevelle when I was 15.
Really?
The gentleman that lived across the street from us had built an old Model A kit car, and he could weld. Well, I didn't know how to weld. I just, you know. So I bought the Chevelle, got it out. Buddy of mine gave me a roll cage. He ran dirt at Volusia.
Oh, did he?
And Bob Stickney.
Oh, I remember Bob. He and I were in school together.
Yes, exactly.
Good old Bob Stickney.
Yeah. He gave me a roll cage. My neighbor welded it in. And I got the car all finished and done. And thought I was going to be the guy. I went to Volusia and they said, how old are you? Well, I'm 16. You can't race here. you can't race here. Come back in a couple of years.
And you did.
I did, absolutely.
And you had a good time, didn't you?
I did.
Did it help you get the girls?
No.
No,
I
it
didn't have
help
time.
me either.
I didn't have time.
No. I never had the money anyway.
Or yes. Any money that I had, you know, it went into cars, motorcycles.
Yeah. Important things.
Important things, that's right.
Exactly.
The first car I bought in 2002 was from the Wood Brothers. Bought one of their Fords.
Wow.
You know, that raced at Daytona 500.
Right.
And paid $12,000 for it. That car now is going for around $45,000.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
So,
sure.
you know, it's so expensive. I don't know how these kids, let's face it, we're all making more money, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, people are making more money and they're making bigger investments in racing, you know. But we've talked about how it's a dying sport. And it concerns me. You don't have I used to call them night streakers, the guys that would drive to and from the track every on Friday or Saturday night.
Yeah.
And you'd see them on 75 or wherever, up and down the highway. We're going to go to break.
No, go ahead.
Okay. But, you know, I mean, you just don't see that anymore. You don't see any cars late at night on the road like you used to.
No, that's very true. Very true. I mean, when I was short track racing, I mean, we would travel late nights to Ocala or Lake City, or you know, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're on your way down State Road 40 by yourself.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
You know?
not good roads back then either. You know, so.
Yeah, that's a lonely road too. That State Road 40.
It is.
Wow, coming back from Ocala.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, you see Sasquatch out there.
A lot of deer.
Sasquatch.
A lot of deer.
Yeah, a lot of deer.
That's good, Buzz. I like that.
But you seem to have really enjoyed everything that you've done over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a great career. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. The people I've met, just are friends for life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you find people that you know, you may see them once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year, and there's some guys that you see every week at the racetrack, and they become your friends for life. And I don't think that I've ever met someone or raced with someone that is an enemy. I mean, when you're on the racetrack, you're competitors.
Right.
But, you know, once the flag drops, the checker flag drops, you go to the trailer, you drink a beer, you have a good time, and
Sure.
Yeah.
you know, you talk about being on the road at night. You know, you see somebody broke down on the side of the road. It doesn't matter if you raced him door to door to the finish and won or lost.
Yeah.
If he's got a problem on the side of the road, you can stop helping him fix
Yeah.
it.
I get it. You have a fraternity for life.
Exactly.
That's what I
It's
call it.
family.
But
It's
you know, I have to ask you. I mean, you were a pretty gifted guy. You were smart, you know, and we don't give ourselves enough credit. But all these years that you worked in this Rolex series. How come you never crossed over into NASCAR? You had the opportunities, I'm sure. There were a lot of teams that probably would have wanted you, but how come you never made that switch?
NASCAR's a dog-eat-dog world, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hey, you're not telling me nothing, man.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, Mike and I were talking about it before the show. I mean, it's a tough gig right now.
I
man.
did do a little bit of NASCAR when I worked for Morgan Dollar.
Yeah.
I worked for their truck team out of Oklahoma. And
Boy, that's even years ago. Craftman Truck
oh, yeah,
Series,
yeah. But I stayed in the R&D department.
Uh-huh.
Went to the racetrack, did some testing, and that's it. I think I went to one race with them, which was at Martinsville, which they won with Dennis Setzer. And that's, I like I say, it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, I remember Dennis.
Yep. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with John Debenedictis. What a great story.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. At Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees, it's all about making you happy. Beach Boys Embroidery can customize your athletic golf apparel, caps, hats, badges, buttons, magnets, backpacks, bags, totes, clocks, watches, oh, and of course, T-shirts. Sure, they're at 2033 South Ridgewood Avenue in South Daytona, and they're waiting for you to call now. 386-255-5880. Beach Boys Embroidery and Tees. Let Aloha Marine get you on the water with huge discounts on great brands like Bayliner, Carolina Skiff, Hurricane, Key West, and Regal. Pay as little as $169 a month with 10% down and approved credit. Don't wait. Get to Aloha Marine, 1700 North Nova Road, Holly Hill, Monday through Saturday. 47 years and always better than boat show prices. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone out there, out in, we're, I guess, out there on the other side of that camera.
TV land.
Yeah, TV land. That's right. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And you can go to the Legends of Racing Radio Facebook page and also YouTube and check out the show. So also, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, come on over to DeLand at the American Legion Post 6 on Biscayne Boulevard over in DeLand. I believe that's over by the airport, if I'm not mistaken. I think. And it's a free car and motorcycle show. And the DeLand area cruisers are putting it on. It's from 10 to 3. No, I'm sorry, from 12 to 3. And they got lunch over there for $10. You get a nice big old barbecue lunch. All makes and models. They have 50-50. Might be able to recoup your entry fee there. And it's a good fundraiser. And they're going to be awarding the Commander's Choice Trophy tomorrow. So that's from 12 to 3 over in DeLand. So go check it out. And so you did you ever get into custom cars, street rods, stuff like that?
Not really. I mean, when I was a kid, I owned a couple Novas and Camaros and Chevelles. Had a problem with Chevelles. Every one I owned, I totaled.
Oh, well, that's not very good.
No. So I quit buying Chevelles.
Really? Did you go to school here?
You did, yeah. Went to Mainland.
All right. I knew there was something about you. I
75.
liked.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm Mainland 69.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah, and well, you were in school with Denzel Washington then.
I was.
Yeah.
Well, he was.
He was probably a year ahead of you,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something. Hard to believe Denzel Washington went to high school here.
Well, a lot of pro guys. I mean, Chandler.
Vince
you
Carter.
know.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Good old Mainland. We know where it's at. Yeah, I love the fact that Mainland beat Seabreeze a couple weeks ago, 53 to nothing.
That was a rout.
I had a hard time not smiling on that one there. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you say is the high point of your career?
Probably the 2002 Rolex. I mean, we were
With Kevin.
Kevin wasn't in the winning car. With Fliss Motorsports Spirit of Daytona.
Right.
Terribly under budget team.
Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, we worked out of a one-car garage in Ormond that nobody had ever thought we would be capable of doing something like that.
Right.
It was a great time with Craig Conway, Doug Goad, Andy Pilgrim, Michael Chizzulli. Yeah,
really.
They were the four guys that we ran in the car. Todd and Troy Fliss obviously ran the program.
Yeah, that's a
Spirit
great
of Daytona.
family.
Absolutely.
Great people.
Yeah.
And they've been tremendous guests here.
Yeah, yes.
We had them a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 1969, I actually went to my first, I was 12 years old, went to my first race at Daytona.
Really? What was that?
It was the Paul Revere 250.
Oh, my gosh.
My aunt brought me.
Uh-huh.
She was an avid race fan.
Is that the Bush race?
No,
it was
the
Camaros, Mustangs, stuff like
Paul,
that.
the Paul Revere 250.
Yeah, Grand
Okay.
American
It was
cars.
run at midnight the night before the firecracker.
Okay.
Yeah. And we sat in Camel Grandstand, and I told her, I said, Aunt Kathleen, I'm going to be down there one day. And, you
That's
know,
great.
12 years old. Yeah, you are. But
It's amazing the way life turns out, isn't it?
standing in Victory Lane,
Wow.
you know, in 2002, to look back at where it had come from, it was really, really a great thing.
A dream come true, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But what amazes me for the amazing career that John has had, he's really not a household name, but he's one of those guys behind the scenes that was always making it happen. And even on the local scene, you had cars that won championships at Ocala and Barberville,
Yeah.
Volusia,
Yeah.
and everything you touched seemed to work out really well.
A lot of hard work. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to be devoted to it. Back in the 80s, I mean, I kind of cut my teeth on the short tracks. A buddy of mine, we raced street stocks for 20 years together.
Really?
You know, back through the late 70s, early 80s, through the 90s. Jimmy Hefner.
Yep.
You know Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, I remember Jimmy. Well.
Together we won over 100 feature races.
No kidding.
6 track championships.
Holy cow.
One year we won at championship at Ocala, Volusia, and Putnam County all in the same year.
Is that right?
Yeah, we had a great career together.
Oh, my
Jimmy's
gosh.
no longer with us, but
Yeah.
I got to. I've always said that my motorsports career wouldn't have been without him.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember when he used to run mini stocks.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Had a little Anglia.
Well, he had quit for a while, and I had a car. I had a old Nova that was a street stock, and he bought it from me. That's how he and I met, and he got back into racing, and I spent the next 20 years, racing with him. That was, like I say, back in the late 70s, and we were a terror. Anybody, whenever we would pull into the racetrack on a Friday or Saturday night, they knew they had to beat us.
Is that right?
Yeah, they had to beat us.
Man, that's a nice feeling, isn't it?
It is. It's great.
Yeah.
And even to this day, I mean, some of the guys I've raced with, when we show up, they know that my cars are the cars to beat.
Yep. Well, that's great.
It's, and I pride myself on it.
You should.
No question.
Your portfolio pretty much exists. You were what they called a floater guy.
Yeah.
floater kind of guy. Somebody would say put together a team, and the first phone call they would make would be to you. So you worked for a lot of teams, and a lot of one-car garages, like you said.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that they could go to you if they had a shot and they had a decent sum of money. They were going to come to you to try to put it together. Am I correct on that?
I have put a lot of race teams together. Yeah.
You're like the hired gun, weren't you?
Well, I don't know about that, but it's been fun. I mean,
you were well respected, and everybody knew that. Hey, if they could give a shot for their money, you were the guy.
I would agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Now, you still have a shop.
I do.
Uh-huh.
I'm downsizing. I'm retiring. This has been my last year.
Really?
Yeah. For the past 8 or 9 years, I've been in the old X1R building with my buddy Brian Collier. He owns Crunch Construction. He's my number one customer. Always has been. We've done a lot out of there. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a ride.
What are you going to do?
Watch.
Yeah. When I got out after 20 years, I was kind of concerned, but I was ready. I was really ready to go.
I am too.
I didn't want to travel anymore. I didn't want to hop on an airplane anymore.
Yeah.
Just didn't want any part of it. And I'm not so sure that I got an opportunity now to go back. But I just don't want to do it.
I will never quit.
Yeah.
I want to stay involved in some fashion. I have a customer that lives in Nashville that he brought his car home. I've had it for the last 7 years, and he finally brought his car home. He built a shop, and he wants me to come up there, fly up there and make sure the car's prepped and ready to go for the events he's going to run next year. He wants me to crew chief the team at the events. So I will stay involved in some manner. Yeah.
A little bit of beer money.
A little bit of beer money.
Yeah. So you don't have any problem going to Nashville?
No. No.
And he'll make it worth your while.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there you
go. That's one thing, all my guys that I have had throughout my career, they've always taken very good care of me.
Really?
Well, they knew that you'd make them get where they needed to go. So, they would pay you.
I can only think of one time, you've been in it, so you know that there's a lot of dogs out there.
Dog eat dog world, man.
One time throughout my whole career that I have gotten stiffed or stifled or whatever you want to call it, but it's such a close-knit community that if you do something wrong, everybody's going to know it. Everybody's going to know it.
It's just like Buzz can relate to this. This was just like Hutcherson Pagan. Used to come to the track, and they would have all kinds of parts and everything. If your team needed something or left something at the shop, and first time I went, they'd say, "Well, we got you covered." I said, "You don't need for me to pay you or write a check." No, because just like you said, if you screwed them, you were screwing yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Your reputation is all you got. That's one thing Mark Smith always told me. The motor builder, he told me, he said, that's all you got is your word in this sport, man. But there's a lot of guys still that get desperate.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
they'll screw you in a minute.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
You had asked about NASCAR, the fact that I wasn't in NASCAR hasn't deterred me from some of the Cup guys that I have worked with.
Right.
You know, in sports car racing. I mean, when we were doing the Daytona prototypes, there's a host of guys that, you know, Cup guys that have come through sports car racing.
That journey, absolutely.
You know, one year at the Rolex, we had Robbie Gordon
No kidding.
in one of our cars.
All right.
Great guy. I love him.
Right.
But he shut
on fire.
Yeah.
On fire
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. But I have to give him accolades because when he divorced NASCAR, he cut it.
Yeah.
Done, baby,
Yep.
done.
He sure did.
And he hasn't looked back a damn minute.
Yep.
He does his Baja racing. Go ahead.
Hey, we're going to stop here just for a minute or two. We'll be right back with John, and we got Tony time coming up here.
Always something good with Tony. Always something good.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Racing's original North Turn is our broadcast headquarters. If you're looking for a good drink, great entertainment, and the best in food, they're right on the beach at Racing's original North Turn. Come on down to dinner tonight. Here are a couple of testimonials. These are actual testimonials from people who have enjoyed the North Turn. Been there many times, always great food and drinks, great location on the beach. And another, what a great experience. It's my new favorite restaurant in the Daytona Beach area, Racing's Original North Turn on South Atlantic Avenue. That's A1A in Ponce Inlet, about 3.2 miles south of the Dunlawton Bridge and A1A intersection. It's Racing's Original North Turn, a restaurant, museum, bar, gift shop, live music. That's Racing's North Turn. Thanks to you, the original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill has been voted top 10 beach bar in Florida year after year after year. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
All righty. Thank you so much, everybody. And this segment's being brought to you locally by the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, voted one of the top 5 markets in the whole country.
Be there tomorrow.
You know, there you go. By USA Weekend. And visit our Shop Now network and our Shop Now at Daytona Flea and Farmers Market Facebook page for the latest in vendor tours. And Tony, what you got?
Hey, John.
How are you, Tony?
You've been talking about IMSA racing, the 24 hours. The thing that makes the biggest impression on me about those races is the speed differential. I mean, the top cars, the GTPs, and then GT4s and 3s.
Yep.
How do you prepare somebody like Harvick or any driver who hasn't done it for that speed differential? I mean, that's got to be mind-altering.
It is. I mean, and that's one thing about sports car racing, is you have so many different classes of cars. The speed differences can be 40, 50, 60, 80 miles an hour difference.
Wow.
Like with club racing, SCCA club racing or historic racing, when they mix classes together, you could have a Miata that at Daytona top speed's 118, 120 mile an hour, or you could have a GTP or a GT1 car that is 200 miles an hour. And at times these classes get mixed on the racetrack. To prepare a driver,
What to look out for, you know.
You can't. Me as a technician, a crew chief, you can't prepare a driver for that. The driver's got to. A real race car driver has it, you know, and they just got it. They know. It's the guys that are in the slower cars that have to be prepared. There's nothing more important in those cars than the mirrors. You've got to watch your mirrors because you know, if you're going into the bus stop in a Miata at 100 mph and you see this big orange GT1 car coming off NASCAR 2 at 200 miles an hour, he's going to catch you before you get there.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready. You got to be watching. Otherwise, and those are the guys that deserve the accolades, because one mistake from them, you know.
Can run a show real quick.
Thank you, Tony.
Great question.
Appreciate it, buddy.
You know, one thing Buzz and I talked about was the color coordinated, where you can see on TV now the different divisions that the cars are running.
Oh yeah,
in.
yes.
You know, I thought that's really cool. It makes it a little more interesting instead of seeing all these classes of race cars going around and you don't know which class it's in. Now you do. IMSA is pretty much, you know.
And it's no more prevalent than at night.
Yeah.
With the GT cars with the
Cool.
amber lights.
24 hours is just cool as hell.
Yeah. And you know, they've lit the racetracks much better. So that's way more fan friendly. Being that, you know, they can see, and you and I were talking before about road racing. You've got to move around to watch it. Well, when you put it in a stadium like Daytona or like Charlotte, you know, you can sit high enough to where you can see everything that's going on.
But some of those tracks you can't.
No,
and
no.
you do. You know.
No, there's a bunch of them. Lime Rock, Mid Ohio.
Mid Ohio. That's what was coming.
Road
about.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know.
Does it amaze you how? I mean, you talked about Mazda Miata. You know how Mazda got into it, and they really kind of made a name for themselves. But Cadillac, man.
Yeah.
Cadillac has really come on in the last 5 years, haven't they?
They're coming back this year with something bigger and better too.
They're coming to win.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So that's always amazed me how they got into it, and they really made the commitment.
Oh, yeah. Cadillac had a team of cars that ran in Le Mans in 1950.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the Briggs Cunningham took one.
Oh, yeah.
And built a special body for it, and it was god dang ugly.
Yeah.
They called it the Monster.
Really?
The Monster is what they call
Monster.
it. Yeah. But the Caddies were out there racing in 1950.
Well, they're different. They're different birds now, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Much.
They're
But
bad to the bone.
everything. The craftsmanship, the technology, the engineering that goes into the cars today is just hands and fists above anything that's ever been done before. You know, I mean, it's evolution, it's technology.
We had the director of IMSA on our show.
That's right.
A few years back.
Yep.
Great guy, educated. You know, works with NASCAR very well. Of course, NASCAR owns them.
Yep.
But I still don't understand why they don't cross that bridge and put a NASCAR race together.
Yeah.
They
That
will.
would be interesting.
They will. I think they will.
Yeah.
There's too much out there
Not to.
not to. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. If they want to draw attention to their sport, to IMSA, oh my gosh.
Well, I will almost be willing to bet that this year you will see
some kind of commitment.
something from NASCAR at the Rolex 24.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I would almost bet. I mean, with the Garage 56 project that they went to Le Mans with, you've got the car.
Yes.
It's basically the same thing that they run every weekend. And the new NASCAR stock car is a road race car.
Yeah.
The whole development of the car is built around a road race car.
And you know, the thing of it is, you know, you've heard a lot lately, of course, with the fines last week with manufacturers, Chevrolet, Ford, Toyota. I mean, to put four Cup drivers on this team, 4 on this team. You know, the different manufacturers. I mean, it'd be a killer deal.
Oh,
well,
it'd be a win-win deal.
You know, if you look back at what Jack Roush has done in the past, I mean, with Mark Martin and the teams that he has brought to the Rolex, you know, to sports car racing. Before Jack ever went stock car racing, that's where he was.
Yep.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's and there's so many good road racers in NASCAR now too.
Oh, they're great. The guys are great.
And they bring the ringers in, and they skunk the ringers.
It's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
It is.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not insinuating cutting these guys that race, the Rolex now. I'm not trying to cut them out, which I don't think we would. But just if you had that involvement, that intertwining, it'd be such a win-win deal for auto racing in general, and that's what it needs. It needs a new excitement.
Yeah.
And Ben Kennedy, that's pretty much what his DNA's kind of been.
To change.
To make the change.
Yeah.
Boy, what a great change it'd be. You and I see it, Buzz sees it.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
It's just
Trying to figure out how to do it.
what's the time frame?
If there's a way to make a buck,
Yeah. There you go.
they'll figure it out.
That's it.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with John Debenedictis.
And we got Larry on board.
Hey, Larry.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Daytona Flea and Farmers Market is still the one for great savings and the best variety. Whether you need flowers and trees for your home or you're looking for great prices on Daytona Beach souvenirs, the market is the place to go. The market features 1,000 booths, 2 air-conditioned malls, a restaurant, and 9 snack shacks. Hop's Grill features gourmet burgers and garden blend salads. Treat yourself to a great variety of brat and hot dog creations at the market is open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and is 90% undercover, so you can shop rain or shine. There's never a charge for parking or admission. Enjoy our monthly classic car cruise-in on the first Saturday of every month, and garage sale weekend, the third weekend of every month. See all we have to offer at DaytonaFleaMarket.com or like us on Facebook. Discover Daytona's most unique shopping experience, the Daytona Flea and Farmers Market, just a mile west of the Speedway. We're back from where it all began, racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Oh, thank you, everybody. We sure appreciate that.
It's so nice to look out in the crowd here, see the new faces here, and all the old faces back. Go ahead, Buzz. I'm sorry.
Old faces? I got an
well,
old face.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All righty. Hey, this segment's being brought to you locally by Homewood Suites by Hilton over on Bill France Boulevard, right around the corner from the Speedway. Terrific place. Happy hour, complimentary breakfast, and every room's a suite. And it's a real classy place, and they're nice people. So if you have anybody coming to town, you want to hook them up with someplace nice, that would be the way to do it. The place to do it is Homewood Suites by Hilton.
Yes.
And we've got Larry.
Larry's
Larry's
Larry?
on board here.
Larry's always got something good.
Yeah.
All right, John. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
First off, I'd like to know. You said that you go to a lot of races when you just knew that you were the car to beat. That's a really good feeling. But were there any times when you went to the racetrack not feeling so confident and maybe you exceeded your expectations, or another time maybe when you went to a racetrack thinking you'd be pretty good and weren't so good at all?
Every week.
I know that's true. I know that's true.
One way or the other, one side or the other.
Every week. You can't go in with the attitude that I'm the best there is, because you're not. You want to be confident, but I've always, and he says that nobody knows who I am. I've always let my cars do the talking for me. Mm-hmm. Well, when I come to the racetrack, you've heard the old adage that you bring your friends with you.
Yeah.
The small circle inside my race team, those are the guys I bring with me, and those are the guys I leave with.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as confidence goes, you got to be confident. I mean, if you're not, you're beat before you ever get there.
Yeah, sure.
And I've always prided myself at doing the work at the shop. Mm-hmm. You bring a car to the racetrack that's prepared, ready to go race, and you're ahead of the game. I've seen guys bring their race car to the racetrack, and some guys, week after week after week, the same problem every week.
Right.
Why don't you guys go home and work on your race car? You know, and to me, it's just be prepared. You know, I was never a Boy Scout, but I'm always ready.
Yeah. Would you, when you got hired by, let's say, like Mr. Remax, when he hired you, you know, to come on board, would you bring your own team sometimes, your own 2 or 3 guys along with you, if you could?
If I could, yes, yes. Most of the teams that outside that I have gone to work for, that I have worked with, have already been an established team that just pick me.
Yeah.
There have been occasions that I have brought inner people from my inner circle with me, yes.
Yeah. You have an interesting format. Buzz and I get it. We understand what you did and what you do. A lot of people don't, but you know, you had a great success story. I love your portfolio. It's very admirable. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, you're the man.
And you could win anywhere. That's what gets me. I mean, the local dirt tracks, the Daytona Speedway, and everything in between.
I have probably raced at every major racetrack in the United States. There's very few that I have not been to.
Yeah.
That are not major racetracks.
Right. How about Road Atlanta?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, that's a racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it'll bite you.
Yeah.
Rich knows about that.
Yeah.
Are you tired? The traveling. I mean, the traveling is what got me more than anything.
That's probably, you know, as I've said, this is my last year.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I don't have to make that drive to Sebring 6 times next year.
Oh Lord.
You guys have fun because you're the ones doing it. You know, that Sunday night drive on the way home, it's got to be a 900-mile drive.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's not, but it sure seems like it is.
It's not a good life.
No. It is.
It is.
I wouldn't trade what I have done for anything in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, certainly it could have been better.
Yeah.
But certainly it could have been a lot worse.
I just want my money back.
Forget it. Forget it.
That's what they all say.
You know, that's not going to happen.
How about your family? Were they behind you all the way?
How many women did you go through? I wasn't supposed to ask that.
That's funny, but I'm not giving away any more houses. I've done it twice. I'm not doing it anymore.
Good for you. Now, do you have any brothers and sisters that were into it?
No, actually, all my brothers, I've got 3 brothers, had 3 brothers. I've only got 1 left. They were all in the construction business. And I tried it, you know, when I was in my teens, and I said, well, I'm way too damn smart for this. You know, there is no reason for me to be out there in 110 degrees sweating my butt off when I don't have to be.
That's funny.
Then you know, you get to Phoenix in August.
Oh yeah, there's your 120.
Yeah. But
your brothers are saying paybacks are a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So is there any track that you never got to race at that you wish you could have?
Good question.
Riverside?
There you go. Absolutely. I've never raced at Riverside. Unfortunately, they decided to build a parking lot before I got out there.
Yeah.
Heard a lot of great stories about it, though.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew that I wanted to go to Riverside. Well, I've seen Dan Gurney pass in the dirt there. I've seen Richard Petty pass in the dirt there. But when Dale Earnhardt passed 3 cars in the dirt there, I knew I had to get there.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate. You know, I have won every time I've been to Three Rivers, Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Three times I've been there. I've won all 3 races.
That's a feat.
I have won every race that I have been to at Watkins Glen.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, that's my favorite track.
At least half a dozen times.
Holy cow.
My very first win with Morgan Dollar when I went to Morgan Dollar was at Watkins Glen. And one of the biggest, happiest moments in my life was when the Fliss brothers came up to me after the race and congratulated me on the win with another team.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Well, there's something about the Glen that is just magical.
It is. Yeah. What a racetrack.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how all these tracks, facilities, they all have their own personality.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one thing that always impressed me about racing when I first got into it.
Yeah.
Wow, these facilities aren't really alike. I mean, NASCAR, they talk about the 1.5 mile cookie cutters, but I found them very interesting myself. You know, they all had a personality. Atlanta, Kentucky, all of them, different degree of banking.
Yep. Hey, we'll be right back with John Debenedictis, and we've got a question from Bill.
Yeah.
All right.
The caution flag is out. Time for a break. We'll be right back with the Legends of Racing radio show. Welcome to Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. You're right in the middle of all the action. Daytona International Speedway, the airport, One Daytona, Florida's newest entertainment and retail destination, and of course, the world's most famous beach. You'll love our newly remodeled 1 and 2 bedroom suites, along with our popular King Studios. You won't need your full kitchen, as Homewood Suites Daytona serves up complimentary breakfast and evening social. It's like home away from home. Go to HomewoodDaytona.com for Homewood Suites by Hilton in Daytona Beach. We're back from where it all began. Racing's original North Turn Beach Bar and Grill. The Legends of Racing radio show continues with your host, Buzz McKim, and co-host, Gary Keller.
Hey, here we are. And it's time for Mr. Bill. What you got today there, bud?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to touch on a couple of subjects. You talked about running Firecracker 400 a night. I think Bill Elliott thought of that a long time ago. And if you elaborate on that, you know, the sports cars run headlights. All the lights are plastic. Imagine what it would be, those NASCAR guys going through there and seeing the brake lights go on, trying to go through. If you really wanted to mix it up, put the Cup cars and the Infinity cars out there. They do that with other classes.
Yeah, sure.
That would put on a show. I think that would be a lot more fan appealing than to put dirt on top of Bristol or run at Los Angeles Coliseum.
I agree.
Or go to Bowman Gray Stadium. I mean, Buzz would tell you, Gary would tell you, I'm a northern guy. We race at Stafford Speedway. It's a half-mile track. I think that'd be a little bit better than Bowman Gray. But I'm not doing editorials here. But I'm interested in your career because it sounds like you've touched on a lot of things. I'm not quite sure where NASCAR is touching on. They want to race in Mexico City, and the next thing you know, they'll be dragging the cars to England or something to drive. But
they will be.
We gotta get the USA effect and run the cars. Up north, we sent you guys like Mike Stefanik and the late Mike Stefanik and Ted Christopher and stuff. They came down here and raced at Daytona.
Absolutely.
And
Old sportsman cars.
It really showed them how to do it.
Yep.
But I think the biggest NASCAR thing is to get their direction of which way they're going. And I was kind of hoping that Roger Penske would help mend the fences between sports car racing and oval track racing or whatever. But just like your candid opinion on where are we going with race cars? It costs so much to run. It costs us $175 a tire and $5,000 to have the engine freshened up so we can be competitive.
Wow.
Where are we going?
Well, today, a set of tires for the average GT1 car is over $3,000. Engines are anywhere from 30 to 130.
Oh my God!
It depends on what you want. How fast do you want to go? You know,
Money by speed.
I think that, like I was saying earlier, with the Garage 56 program, that they built the stock car to go to Le Mans with, that has opened a bunch of eyes. Hopefully, it will open a bunch of doors for stock cars to compete in the Rolex 24. I would love to see 2 or 3 or 4 Cup teams build a program. Yes, it's money. It's all about the money. But, you know, Jim France is an avid road racer. He always has been. I mean, he was a motorcycle guy, but he's an avid road racer. He could make this happen. Yeah. He made the Garage 56 program happen. He could make this happen.
I believe they could make it happen, and I think the fans have to have a little bit more voice in the thing and embrace the road racing concept. You know, we only turn left.
Yes.
When we turn right, we're in a lot of trouble. But there's a lot of talented guys out there that could learn to turn right.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
Just given the opportunity to do so.
The stock car racers in today's world are really great road racers. That, like Buzz was saying, the hired guns that used to come in, the Boris Seds and the Ron Fellows, they don't have a chance anymore. I'm sorry. They don't have a chance.
And they used to dominate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In the 90s and the early 2000s, I mean, they dominated.
Yep.
But not anymore. Like
Nope.
you said, everybody, the Larsons, Chastains, they've all kind of caught up with them
Yep.
as for road racing concepts.
Yeah, there's Cup guys, you know, AJ is certainly a good racer,
Yes.
road racer, and the Elliott boy is a good road racer and stuff.
Yep.
Just need to stretch this thing out a little bit and make it work, you know.
Exactly.
Guys like you could help it. So, thank you again for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank
Come
you.
back
It's
and
been
see
a
it.
privilege
Thank you,
and a
Bill.
pleasure.
Appreciate that.
It's just amazing to me. You talked about how Jim France made the commitment with IMSA.
Yeah.
You know, why he doesn't go another step further.
And like I said, I think it will happen when, you know, that's on NASCAR's timeline.
Yeah.
The old guard stock car guys are, not that they're in the way, but you've got to get that old fan accustomed to the new world, you know, and road racing is a lot more relatable with the new cars to the average fan than stock car racing is.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
for
I
sure.
mean,
Okay, I'm going to bring up something here, and I want you to elaborate here. Formula One racing.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your thoughts? Just a different world, man.
what a shit show. I'm sorry, but it is. It just.
They're spaceships, aren't they?
Personally, I have no interest.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's the premier
They
racing.
they make it look good with all those people and
Oh,
those
yeah.
computers and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they spend millions and millions of dollars.
Who can afford it?
Yeah, who can?
That's right.
Who can afford it?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if everybody in this room right now had $1 million,
Still would
you might be able to go watch one F1 race. I was at COTA last year with F1.
Were you really?
Well, I was a tech inspector for the Masters Racing Series, and we were the sideshow to F1.
Right.
And it's a zoo.
Is it really?
It is a zoo. I mean, parking prices cost more than it costs to get into Daytona for the 500.
Oh, my gosh, that's crazy.
$40.
That's crazy.
40?
Yeah, that's
400
Are you serious?
for parking.
Wow. Hell.
Yes.
That's absurd.
Yes, it's insane.
I think we got a good thing here. We don't want to mess
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, we've had a great time with you, John, and we cannot thank you
thank
enough
you.
for.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys. I
Isn't it
appreciate
great?
it.
Thank you so much for being
It's
here.
certainly been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Come back sometime.
Well,
Yep.
there's a lot of guys that have been here that are way more than me, so
No,
I
no,
appreciate
we're
it.
proud to have you, man.
You've got a
Your-
great story.
Yeah, your story is just as important as, in a lot of ways, more admirable.
Well, there's
So don't ever feel like
there's
that.
more there.
okay?
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And one of the unsung heroes for sure. And one of the guys one of the faces behind the screen here, you know, and he makes it work. And
Yeah.
there's so many people like that, and we want to shine some light on
it.
folks like you.
And you do a great job at that, Buzz.
Well, thank
He
you.
does.
I
He
mean,
does.
He digs
appreciate that.
he digs them out.
Yeah.
You get them out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well-
it keeps amazing me every week. I mean, we have the big names here,
Yeah.
but we also have the the small names, and they're just equally as important. And Buzz and I can pull out the story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You
story's
guys,
fascinating.
like I told you guys in the beginning, you're going to have to do this because I'm not that
Well,
guy.
you done excellent,
did great.
excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to say thank you to Danny for working the board
yeah,
today.
Danny, yep.
Danny Joe.
Yeah.
And we've got the applause boys, Dave and Mike over here.
Yep.
Mike is the big
The creator.
poobah.
The
There you
creator,
go.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And Joe, it's so good to see you back again there, buddy.
Yeah, good to
Oh,
see
that's
everybody
great.
back. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming back.
It's really neat, really neat.
Yeah,
And-
getting some of the old faces back. And this is just
Yeah.
a start. We have more. I mean, in the next 4 or 5 weeks,
Good,
they start coming
good,
down
good.
from
Yeah.
north.
Oh,
So,
yeah. We'll
we
have
love
them loaded up.
Yep.
And I see George Levy back there from the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America
Oh, yeah.
sitting back there hiding. And he snuck in there, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself today, buddy.
Yeah.
And there's no telling who we're going to have next week. You never can tell. We're full of surprises, right?
Yep.
But it'd be hard to top this guy right here.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
The Legends of Racing radio show originates live from the very spot where beach racing began. Racing's North Turn